views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey, everybody. It is so great to be connecting with all of you. For those of you that were here for the last show, you're just kind of rolling into just an incredible conversation. I am so thrilled to have Dr. Glenna Rice joining me here today because we're talking about a topic that we chatted about a little bit at the last show she and I did, but it is a topic that cannot go pretty much any longer without expanding, and that is include your body. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? What happens when we look at our bodies, the way we talk to our bodies? You know, what is it that we do about that? What is it that we do with our family, our friends, our children, you know, our significant others? How do we look at each other? And then most importantly, what is it we do to ourselves? And, you know, is it even possible, you know, to get a bathing suit out anymore for us ladies without just rolling our eyes and going, ugh, before we even get the thing out of the drawer? But that's not the whole conversation. There is something that happens to us around this, and it is fueled by the media. It's even fueled now by some of the latest headlines that have been out and about from our current administration. You know, that fat is a word that has never been politically correct and now is slamming the mainstream in a not so good way. So when you think about yourself, when you think about your children, when you think about your family, what is it about your body that you just don't want to include? Dr. Glenna Rice is joining me here today. Fabulous. She travels the world. Physical therapist, owner of Access Physical Therapy. She is also an Access facilitator, Access Consciousness facilitator. She teaches seminars, parenting, and she also introduces the amazing ability and potentiality of loving, knowing, and appreciating our bodies. And you're going to hear about that today. Dr. Glenna, great to have you. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Dr. Pat. I'm glad to be on.
Yeah.
I love that introduction. You were able to pull in the administration. That was awesome.
But think about it, though. I mean, for decades, you didn't hear anybody really in the public, including Oprah. Maybe Rhonda Britton did a book, said, "Do I look fat?" or something like that. "Do I look fat in this?" or something. That was her book. But other than that, that three-letter word has been literally ripped from our consciousness up until about a year or 18 months ago, when we started to refer to people like that, fat people sitting on a couch. So can you imagine the subconscious or the conscious behavior now of people sucking that in and now judging themselves greater than they've ever done before?
Yeah, it's pretty pretty horrible. It's the words that have been said about bodies, women's bodies, in particular by our
And I want to ask you your perspective on that, because, you know, there's a line that's been crossed. And so for me, there's a healing that needs to happen around it. And I wanted to get your perspective on what you've been out into the world. You've been working with people. You've been out in the world day in, day out, helping people, not bring the good fight, but stop the fight. What have you seen?
Wow. Well, just on the topic today of including your body, one of the things about it that stops us is judgment of our body. When you're having judgments of your body, you can't have an awareness of your body. And one of the things that's probably the most important to include your body in anything you do is to have an awareness of it. And when those kind of words are being put out there and people buy into them as real, when they don't just say, oh, that's an interesting thing the man is saying, it has nothing to do with me or my life. There's the whole other topic, do we want our president talking that way? I absolutely do not. That doesn't work for me at all. But what he's saying that's insulting people, the insults are, if we can just be interesting point of view, that he has that point of view and not have the point of view yourself. Not align and agree or resist and react, but to know it does not work for you and it's not your point of view. And when you're that energy and you're not buying into the stuff and aligning and agreeing, fighting never works. You just have an awareness of it and know it doesn't work for you, and you'll do whatever it takes to change it. And for your body, it's like whatever it will take to change it for you. Judging your body as fat, judging your body as old, judging your body as weak, any of the judgments we have of our body create more of those because your point of view creates your reality. But whose reality do we want to buy into? I mean, I'm not going to buy into his reality. That's not my reality. I'm going to create a reality that works for me, that's going to be greater and beyond his reality. I'm not going into that man's little box. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not from a resistance and reactions, but it does not work for me. And people insulting bodies definitely doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And we can't stop their insults. We can't, tape their mouths up. People are going to be insulting people. That's one of the great things we do on this planet. And, what to say, that's one of the things that's done. People insult bodies all the time. He's not the first one. And those insults have to kind of just roll off you, roll through you. It's not your reality unless you make it that way. And the only way we can make it our reality is to buy into it or fight it.
Exactly.
When you fight it, you do the exact same thing as buying into it, because you can't fight it if you haven't already bought it as true and real for you. So create your reality that works for you, and part of that can be what's it going to take to have a reality that doesn't have judgment in it for you. And then you'll be an inspiration for other people.
Yeah, I mean, what you said is so important. We think for ourselves, we stop back for a minute and, we have this idea that we're really not getting plugged in. One, we're not getting plugged into the media. We're not getting plugged into the commercials. We're not getting plugged in to, what we drink, what we eat, how we do it. We believe we're not even getting plugged in if Oprah comes on and talks about, I've been eating pasta and I've still lost weight. But we are. We are getting plugged in because we're now comparing, right?
Yes. And we're trying to make how her body changed something that we can do with our body and making somehow that's right. And bodies don't change that way. Every single body is actually really different. And all of the points, so I've talked to many, many callers, your point of view creates your reality. Your point of view creates it. So your points of views about your body are what created your body the way it is right now. And often they're from judgment. So if your, quote unquote, problem that you have with your body wasn't created in the same way as Oprah's was, then if you try to buy what changed her body, it's not going to work for your body because it wasn't created the same way. I mean, one of the things that Access Consciousness has is this amazing way to start to get to the point of creation without you even having to know exactly what they were, because most of them are an energy you'll never have a cognitive awareness about. Right. It's always really fun when you get the cognitive awareness, but often we don't. And we can change those points of views and create something different by getting rid of the points of creation. And the clearing statement we talked about that has been talked about is one of the ways to get to that. But also choices, choosing to change things from a awareness of what your body can tell you about, what your body can give you, the information of what those points of views were that may have created the problems you're having, not someone else's body.
Listen, Dr. Glenna, here is something fascinating. A friend of mine sent me an article that just came out, I think 2 and 3 days ago. And, I think the article is by Dr. Betsy Smith. And the article is called, "Why is Emotional Abuse So Difficult to Recognize?" And she goes on and talks about it, but she really talks about exactly what you and I are talking about. We cannot recognize it as well as if somebody walked up to us and gave us a black eye, right?
Right.
Or if a boss cornered us and started to scream at us, we couldn't recognize it. But there are other reasons and things that happen. And 9 times out of 10, what she's talking about is that there are things that are being said that we latch on to, right? There are things that are being done that we latch on to and don't have any tools, no tools in the toolbox to help us move beyond that. And that's what you're here today to talk about. There are tools, but we have to recognize that we are in a battle with things first, right?
There's so many tools that can help with, with so-called emotional abuse. Physical abuse, too. I mean, people are creating that with their bodies also. Car accidents can be a physical abuse. And, getting punched in the face. We have tools for that. And emotional abuse. And one of the greatest tools, really the easiest tool for a lot of that, is just this question: who does it belong to?
Yeah.
There's so many times when people are insulting you or accusing you of things, or that meanness that they can have, it's an awareness of them you're having. And then you think that's you. We're so psychically aware, so much more psychically aware than we've ever acknowledged. I mean, most of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you feel in your body aren't yours. And when someone's being abusive to you, so often the person that's receiving the abuse, and I've worked with lots of them, the intensity of the emotional stuff can change if they just ask, is that mine or was that my abuser? Because so often they pick it up, and because they don't have a tool or even the awareness at all that they can be picking up emotions and thoughts, feelings from the crazy people around them, they don't have a way out, because you'll immediately start to put it into your own story and make that emotion that's not yours or the feeling that's not yours, yours by adding your own stories to it. And with abuse, there's a lot of story going on in all of that. So just asking, is that mine or someone else's, can lighten it up amazingly. A lot of the sexual abuse that I've worked with, especially for when it was done to someone who was young, the guilt and shame that the person often has with that kind of abuse is not theirs. It's the abuser's guilt and shame. Because usually the adult is pretty aware of what they're doing, and the child is often not, have that kind of, awareness from being older. So they just feel the energy of the shame or the guilt and think that that's theirs. And the number of people that have had relief in their life and has been able to create their life just from that one tool and getting the awareness that it was never theirs is incredible. It's happened over and over again.
I know it is. And and here's what we're going to talk about. How does a comment in passing engage us? What is it that we can be so mindful of in our day to ourselves? And what does judging our bodies really create? Really create that and much more with Dr. Glenna Rice. We'll be right back.
Can you see? There's a feeling that's come over me.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Are you ready to start winning at the game of life? Lynn Brown, host of Get Into It, Winning at the Game of Life, is here to help you reach places and goals that you never thought possible. Lynn is an intuitive healer with a specialized background in financial healing. She combines her intuitive nature and her wholesome approach to financial planning. To learn more about her financial planning services, contact her personally at intuit.com.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving. Even in the face of adversity, say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
On the cutting edge of the new mainstream, Christine Upchurch is passionate about bringing together science, psychology, and spirituality in a way that can be applied to our everyday lives for true transformation. The Christine Upchurch Show, stellar conversations to illuminate your journey, engages some of the most outstanding visionaries on the planet in lively dialogue to inspire you to become that bright light you're meant to be. Join Christine every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on KKNW, AM 1150, and Transformation Talk Radio.
Can you see? There's a feeling that's come over me. Close my eyes. You're the only one that needs me.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Dr. Glenna Rice is in the house, and we're talking about the body today. Yeah, next we're going to talk about what does judging your body create. But before we do, can you just give everybody an update on how they can get in touch with you, how they can actually work with you in person, and then also you're doing a series, Creating with Your Body. So tell us all about that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really excited about this year's telecall. It's a full-year telecall that's in 4 parts and 3 calls. You can join any of the 3 call parts, or the full year. GlennaRice.com/QC for questionable conversations is how you can find information about that. You can also go to drglennarice.accessconsciousness.com to find a list of all of my upcoming classes, and you can link through my website at that. So GlennaRice.com is the easiest way to find everything about me. And yeah, this call, it's Creating with Your Body, and it was inspired by a question I was asked in one of my 3-day body classes, and I was almost flummoxed by the question because I had never been asked that, and it seems to be something that's really up. There's been other blogs and things in Access, and people have been talking about this, including your body, creating with your body. And I was like, this is what I want to do my call. And I actually was not even sure I was going to do a call this year. I wasn't that inspired to do one until this person asked me questions. It was like that aha moment of, ooh, this is what I want to talk about. So it's the 4 parts are about awareness of your body, which is some of the stuff we're talking about today. Having an awareness of your body is one of the things really required to start including your body. in the creation of your life, listening to your body, being grateful for your body, and having a great relationship with your body. What if your body was your best friend? So those are the 4 areas we're going to be addressing and speaking to on the call. And I'm really excited. We had the first call. People can still join in. Find it at glennarice.com/QC. You would get the previous call and all the processing as an audio and a written processes if you signed up now from the first call. And it's once a month for the next year.
Wow, I think it's exciting because I don't know that we have really uncovered the complete nature of how important this conversation is. And, it really leads me to the question of, what is the effect here, Dr. Glenna? What is the effect on judging our body? What does it create? And let's just stay with the conversation about what we do to ourselves for the moment.
Yeah. Well, if we talk to our best friend the way we talk to our body, they wouldn't be our friend for very long. If you went around looking at your friend and going, oh, my God, you're fat. Look at the rolls on your tummy. Where'd you get all those wrinkles? Your hair's getting thin. You're terrible at doing this activity. You don't know how to cook. I don't know. The things that we say to our body and say about ourselves are not things that we could say to people and have any friends in our lives. So we aren't creating a great relationship with body. We're creating a very antagonistic relationship with our body with most of the judgments we have. And like I said, your judgments create your body. Your point of view creates your reality. Judgments are part of your point of view about your reality, and that's where your creation comes from. What if you created with your body from kindness, from generosity, from gratitude, and included it? Because, what's true is that your body is the one that requires money, requires food, requires shelter, requires clothing. And how often do we even consider what our body enjoys or is asking for in any of those decisions or choices in our life? Where do we say, hey, body, where would you like to live?
Yeah.
We come up with all these ideas about where we would like to live based on, finances, our job, and all these other things. But that would be part of including your body. And the thing is, when you include your body actually wants to contribute to you. And the information it will give you will create more in your life, not less.
Yeah. You and I were talking about this before, and I want to get back to it as there's a level of awareness that we can have, a level of consciousness we can have about our lives, our bodies, and what's going on in the world. But the point that I think is so important today is if I am judging my body, and I believe absolutely what you just said, I'm not sure I even know where to begin to stop. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, it's great intellectually, but you have some tools. Where do we begin to stop judging our bodies?
Ooh, yeah. Well,
could you feel that?
Where do we begin?
Yeah.
One of the things to do is to, when you do judge your body, is just start to ask, what would it take for me to have an awareness of when I'm judging my body? Because some of us, judgment is just so normal. Getting rid of it, like you said, you can't see where it is because it just seems like a normal way to do. So you can start getting more information by just asking that question. Your body can show you. However, it shows you will be different for every single body. Body, where am I judging you that I'm not acknowledging? Mm-hmm. And everything that doesn't allow you to have that, what you guys do, going to uncreate and destroy it all. We'll do that clearing statement.
Yeah.
Just say yes in your head for right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. That's going to help. And then when you catch yourself, it's a choice right then and there. It's a choice to change it. Going, wow, this is a judgment. What else can I say? Is that actually true? Body, let's say it's fat. Okay, body, is this working for us? Because maybe somewhere it is. And the judgment is keeping it in place. And then what's working about this? And you can change that point of view. And then what would it take to change it? And your body can give you the information. So stopping judging it is to acknowledge that you are, seeing where you are, and choosing to change that. And also to know when you start asking questions instead, like, wow, body, what great adventures can we have today? Body, how can you contribute to my life today? body, what can you contribute to me changing this? Body, what do you want to look like? It's a great question to start asking your body what it would like to look like. Everyone who's ever asked it has the awareness is something much greater than what they're creating. And often people don't want to ask it because they think something horrible is going to show up if you actually listen to your body. That's always been a weird one, but people actually do think if they let their body tell them what it would like, they're going to be gluttonous, they're going to be extravagant, things are going to happen to them they never expected. The body's just going to want to eat popcorn and cookies all day, and that's never what shows up. It's quite incredible what our body can actually gift us if we include it in the conversation. Does that help with what you asked?
Yeah. I mean, it really is, because we're so really good. I think part of what I think I'm saying too, Glenna, is that we don't think we're including our body in the conversation to begin with, but we are, but in not such a great way. I mean, there are so many ways that we have literally rewired ourselves to think less of ourselves than we do some television commercial that's coming on to tell us what we should look like, what we should eat, and how we should show up in the world. It's fascinating to really be part of this. And I've shared this with you before. The one thing I can say about my sister and her weight is nobody was going to tell her in a way that influenced her how she was supposed to feel about herself, about her weight, and about who she was, because it never determined for her presence in the world how she treated other people and how well loved she was. She loved herself. She loved her body at 450 pounds. And when she died, the people that lined up in Yonkers, New York, the line went miles and miles and miles. And I think that's what you're talking about. You're talking about transcending the rhetoric that we talk to ourselves about to get to a place which will open all the doors of joy for us in life. And that's what I want to talk about when we come back. Dr. Glenna Rice in the house. I'm Dr. Pat. We will be right back.
The 25th Annual Women of Wisdom Conference. Remember who you are, honoring ourselves, we heal the world. Is this February 16th through the 20th. WOW is calling for women to gather. This is the time for women to step into our power, support each other, share our stories, empower our dreams, and build leaders for our community and the next generation of women. Join us for life-changing, intimate workshops on diverse topics such as music, dance, art, sexuality, relationships, healing, goddess wisdom, life purpose, and more. Join us and be witnessed, valued, and inspired to discover your purpose and share your stories. WOW is one of the longest-running women's spirituality conferences in the world. You can register for individual events or enjoy the whole weekend. This February 16th through the 20th. Visit womenofwisdom.org.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Brand consultant Jen Morgan is here with Radically Distinct Radio to help you take control of your future and maximize your brand's power to produce results. Whether you're an individual trying to reinvent yourself and launch a new venture, or you're an executive trying to reposition your company to modernize your sales and marketing programs, Jen Morgan and the RAD method empower you to play to your strengths and show up in the world as your most powerful brand. To learn more, go to jenmorgan.com. That's Jen with 2 N's Morgan.com, or call 206-972-5366.
The Earth is an ever-changing being. Goddess Light shamanic healer Bree Gibbs guides us through the ascending worlds, bringing forth knowledge and truth. As a light creator, she is here to provide new information needed at this time in our evolution. Join Bree as she shares messages from guides, spirits, ascended masters, goddesses, and others. Tune in the second and fourth Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific, and Thursdays, 1 p.m. Pacific for Silver Gaia Radio.
Have you wanted to make more money without working harder or more? Maybe you've tried new ways to bring in extra income without success. Hi, my name is Deb Acker, and in addition to being the host of Truth Talk Radio, I'm an intuitive life coach and energy healer. I clear energy blocks to all areas of life, including abundance. Did you know many times we have an invisible income ceiling? So no matter what we do, our income never goes up, or if our income does go up, we experience an unexpected expense that negates this. How much would it be worth to significantly increase your income or even have unexpected income show up? When I was in the corporate world, I used these techniques to increase my income by tens of thousands of dollars without changing my work routine. In fact, I worked even less, and I now help clients do the same. If this resonates for you and you're truly ready for abundance in your life, I'd love to gift you with my pattern identification session. Simply contact me on the contact page of my website, DeborahAcker.com. That's DeborahAcker.com. And let me know you heard about this gift through Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to connecting soon.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Dr. Glenna Rice is in the house. And for those of you that would like to find out more about her, you can go to glennarice.com. If you want to find out about her class schedule, you can go to drglennarice.accessconsciousness.com. You can find out where she's going to be, the workshop she's going to be doing. And then, Glenna, how do people know how to register for your call series, creating your with your body?
They can register at the either of those two websites, links that you gave out. The glennarice.com/QC, there's a registration link right there on the page. So
awesome. Yeah. And there's a lot of opportunities for people, to get a new level of awareness about themselves, their lives. And, this is really, for me, this is one of the more important studies, more important conversations, I think, for women right now. And there are many, many versions of it that come into play here. One of them is the subconscious aspect of what we say to our body, what we ask our body, and what we don't ask our body. So one thing, for example, is I was playing table tennis Saturday in a way that I hadn't played before. And, in my mind, I would have a regiment of what I was going to eat and what I was going to eat. But when I asked my body what my body wanted to eat, it said bananas, bananas, bananas. And, I'm not a banana person. But my body was really clear. Nope, not pizza, not oranges, not coffee, bananas. And so in the interim that I was out there playing table tennis on Saturday, which was a really long day, I must have had about 6 bananas. Now, most people would be thinking, oh, my God, they're so fattening. Oh, they have so much sugar. But I'm telling you, Dr. Glenna, you couldn't tell my body that it didn't want them.
No, I love that story. That's listening to your body. And it can be that bizarre. The great thing that people have to get is when your body is asking for things, it's actually something that's required. And the sugar thing, the fat thing, none of that is a problem for your body. It's when we judge the food that creates those problems with our body. But when our body's actually asking for it and enjoying it, it's a gift to your body. And when you're gifting to your body, problems aren't created. you don't get diabetes because you're gifting to your body. You get it for a whole bunch of other points of views and family histories and, diagnosis things with the doctors. But you don't get it because you're actually gifting. When something's actually a gift and your body has that joyful energy when it's eating it, that's what you want to have all the time. I mean, I say in my classes all the time, have you guys ever been thirsty and drank a glass of water? And everyone's like, oh, yeah. Like the pleasure that is when you're actually really thirsty and you drink a glass of water, how that feels, how you perceive that in your body is how everything should be. Like all the food we eat should actually be that joyful. And what tends to happen is when you start eating from that is you eat a lot less because your body is satisfied and happy with the small amount of the stuff it really enjoys. And then there's a whole other conversation about the cleaning your plate world that stops us from just having a little bit. This is always a big part of my calls and my classes.
Yeah. I mean, part of it is really looking at, how to even pay attention. And I wanted to ask you about that because 9 times out of 10, what we're doing is we're blocked from really knowing how to ask our body what it wants. But there are many things that we can hear from that. First of all, what is that going to how is that going to benefit us? I mean, I shared a story about my body, and clearly I'm telling you, I did need 6 bananas to get through that day and play and not go home at night and have cramps like I couldn't even imagine, right? But that was just me very simply, oh, you want a banana, eat the banana. Not the story of, well, if you eat that banana, that's like no protein in the banana, full of sugar. I mean, my gosh, really? But I could have done that.
Yeah, and that it's actually as simple as you're describing it. It really is that simple. Listening to your body and then acknowledging it and allowing it to, listen to it and do what it's asking for. That's about as simple as it is. And when you do things that are greater, show up. There was an article that Gary Douglas published that people can find on my Facebook page if they're looking for it. Mm-hmm. And he says in it, he said, if you really want to create a greater world and a greater life, you have to do it with your body, not outside of your body, not in opposition to your body.